Yes, people, welcome back. So today I am going to try and pull, which is not what I was doing the other day. What was I doing the other day? Push. Today's video is going to be about process-focused thinking. This isn't really something that I've learned from people, even though I know a lot of people say things like focus on the process, learn to love the process, but until you actually need to do that and you're going through the process, it can be extremely difficult. And loving the process is a very difficult thing, because if you're new to something and that thing is difficult, it's difficult to love it. Because let's say, for example, you've just started the gym, you've just started a diet, you've started doing loads of cardio, you've started doing steps, you've got a meal prep, you've got to track your results, you've got to learn the exercises, you've got to train hard, you've got to make the commitment, you've got to sacrifice things. Doing that for the first time, like when I take on a new client, for example, that's never really done anything like that before, is extremely difficult. And if that person is finding it hard in the beginning, telling them to just love the process probably isn't going to do very much. So, this is my mindset around falling in love with the process, or at least maybe not falling in love with, let's just call it process-focused thinking, is what I like to call it. Now, if a client ever comes to me, which they do, and they say things like, oh, you know what, mate, didn't lose anything this week, I expected to lose more, I expected to gain more, whatever goal they're aiming towards, I expected to get stronger. When we are so outcome focused, all we think about is outcomes. And what we don't realise sometimes is that you can't achieve an outcome without doing what you need to do along the way. So, what I mean by that is, if, for example, you've done 100 minutes of cardio one week, you've done 3 weight sessions, and you say to yourself, oh, you know what, I've done all this and I feel like I should have lost 2 kilos instead of 1 kilo. Well, it doesn't actually matter, because physiologically it didn't happen. So if you've stuck to the plan to the best of your ability and you've not achieved the result that you wanted to achieve, it doesn't matter, because you've not achieved it, like you've not done enough. So that tells us we've not done enough. 1 kilo a week of fat loss, by the way, is fine unless you've got a very, very tight schedule or you've got a lot to lose. 1 kilo is fine. 2 pounds, that's perfectly fine for most people. If you've got 30 pounds to lose and you lose 2 pounds a week, it's going to take you 15 weeks to lose it. Like, that is a good time frame, so don't try and rush it. But the point of this is to get you to think about the things you do on a daily basis more than just the result you're trying to achieve. The result you're trying to achieve is there. So, for example, it could be that you wanted to lose 2 stone or 28 pounds of fat, right, which is the same thing, or roughly 12 kilograms of body fat. That's all the same thing, right? You know that goal is there. You've got a plan from a coach, or a plan that you know definitely will work if you stick to the plan. If you don't lose exactly this certain amount of weight per week, it doesn't matter, because you just make the appropriate adjustments and then you continue to carry on. Where people go wrong is they'll stick to it, they'll fail as in not reach their expectations, not fail in general. Expectations are just too high, or probably not realistic anyway, and then they use it as an excuse to fall off plan and to not continue following the process. So this is what I'm talking about. Success isn't just measured off the outcomes we achieve. You should measure your own success on a daily basis. If I win the day, which is today, if I win today, winning today is ticking everything off that I needed to do. If I miss off 2 things, I've not done everything I needed to do. So I'm not going to get the outcomes that I wanted to achieve to the same degree. I might get the outcomes eventually, but it might take me another, 3 months if I keep missing these days, or it might take me another 6 months if I keep missing these days. So that is what process focused thinking is to me. It's focusing on the things you need to do on a daily basis. People don't do it. They don't do the things they need to do on a daily basis. So they don't do the cardio. They skip the steps. They skip the meals. They go off plan and overeat. They skip a workout. They don't put 100% in on a workout. They get a shit night's sleep. They don't stick to the supplements. They don't track the results. They don't track the food properly. They don't weigh the food properly. There's so many different things that you could do that could potentially steer you off plan. That is part of the process of getting the outcome that you want. The outcome is the fat loss, or the outcome is the muscle building. If you do not do the things you need to do on a consistent basis to get those results, how can you expect to get those results? Don't think about the result. Think about the things you need to do on a daily basis. I'll give you an example. Let's say you wanted to lose 10 kilos of body fat in the next 10 weeks, and the plan that has been set would get you to lose 1 kilogram per week, right? So 10 kilos next 10 weeks. And you only stick to, half of the plan. Or 1 week, let's say 1 week you fell off plan, right? And you didn't get that kilo off. Don't stress over that, because the weight is controlled by your actions. The weight is controlled by the process. So focus on the process. Don't just focus on the outcome. You're inevitably going to be disappointed, but it's not because you can't lose weight. It's because you've not stuck to the plan. And it's so important that you put your emphasis and your focus on sticking to the plan. The results will come. You'll hear a lot of people say things like, win the day. Win the day is exactly that. Win the day is doing the things you were supposed to do in a day to eventually achieve the outcome that you wanted to achieve. You won't lose fat off 1 day of cardio. You won't lose fat off 1 day of steps or sticking to a calorie deficit. But what you will do is you will lose fat off an accumulation of successful days of tracking your calories, eating in a calorie deficit, doing your cardio, doing your steps. That is how things work. It's a process. Yeah, it has to be consistent over time. And doing more sessions doesn't necessarily make it faster as well. So when you're told to do 4 sessions a week or 3 sessions a week, because you're able to stick to that consistently, don't then go and do 6 or 7 sessions a week, because you might be able to do it for 1 week, you might be able to do it for a few weeks, but eventually you're not going to be able to do it anymore because it's unsustainable. So that's where sustainability comes in. It's important that we have a sustainable plan that is going to get us to an end goal and that we stick to it. The sticking to it's the most important bit. If I have a client that doesn't stick to a plan, I can't make an adjustment to that plan because they've not stuck to it. So it is key to stick to a plan. Sticking to a plan is the most important thing. And if you want that outcome badly enough, you will definitely stick to the plan. In 2023, when I did my fat loss phase, I wanted the outcome so bad that I went all in on everything. I just stuck to everything. And it was a very, very rare occasion if I ever went off plan. It was probably just a holiday I think I went off plan for, and maybe a couple of, a few days around that. But that was it. Yeah, there wasn't many occasions when I went off plan, and there was a reason why I wanted it that bad. I knew that in order to get to that goal, I had to stick to it 100%. There's been occasions when I haven't wanted it that bad, and I've not stuck to it 100% because I haven't wanted it enough. If you want it that badly, and you know why you want it, and you know the cost of not achieving it, you will find a way of getting to that goal. And sometimes you don't even need to know how, because you can either pay someone to tell you how, or you will just find a way because you want it that bad. Like, if you want that outcome that bad, you will find a way, and then you'll find the process, but then you've got to stick to that process. Yeah, so hope you like this video. This was just my perspective on things and how I view things more than anything, but you'll have heard a lot. Process focused thinking, enjoy the process, win the day, and that is what those things to me mean. Win the day, don't focus on 6 weeks' time. Don't focus on 2 months' time. Focus on now. Focus on what is important right now, which is doing what you need to do today. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll speak to you all soon.